Well, as we continue to mourn the loss of Simba Mhere, another great figure of the television world, Daleen Scott, has passed away after complications with diabetes. A very popular television producer for SABC2's family-friendly comedy sketch series Complex, she was also a member of the top-billing family for a number of years, working as a producer. With us on the line this morning, comedian Hannes Brummer, who was a writer on the Complex series and worked with Daleen closely for many years. Hannes, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I know that you worked closely on Complex, which was a very funny series, of course. What were some of the highlights that you had of working with Daleen?
Good morning, Leigh-anne. Well, I mean, the premise of Complex, we were a relatively young comedy troupe, and Daleen came to us with the idea of doing a sketch show of this nature, setting it on a golf estate. And the whole process, I very fondly look back on both series of Complex as one of the highlights of my own personal career and that of my colleagues and friends. And Daleen kind of, she was a bit of a, she drove us pretty hard to ensure that we hit all the deadlines. And the process was wonderful. The second series, we actually sat and wrote around her dining room table to a certain extent. She had a razor-sharp wit. Wow. And sometimes even a sardonic sense of humor that kind of assisted and drove everything that we did. But more importantly, also, she never held us back. I mean, so many times when you're writing something, you have a tendency to want to try and keep it smaller because you're thinking practically. But Daleen also says that no, let your ideas flow, let them go. So she never held us back, and that was quite a valuable experience for anybody, especially if you're writing comedy.
Hannes, she was such an incredible person with a very magnetic personality. What do you hope she will be remembered for the most, and what will you especially miss about her?
Well, I certainly know that she'll be remembered for the close bonds that she formed with people and the friend that she was, but also her professionalism and her drive to ensure that things came out the absolute best that it could. Yeah. And certainly the mark that she leaves in the television industry will be, it's a big gap to fill.
Yeah. Hannes, thank you so much for joining us on Expresso today, and we're very, very sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you very much.
Daleen's passing is indeed a major loss, and our sincere condolences to you and, of course, to her family and friends as well. It's a very tragic time in the entertainment industry for all of us. She was only 37 years old when she passed away at her home in Cape Town. So our thoughts and prayers definitely go to her family and her friends and all of her colleagues as well. But we are continuing today with something that Daleen herself suffered from, which was diabetes. It is Wellness Tuesday. Over to Ilana.